Hi, everyone. I'm Maddie here with Anime Fire, and I am talking to voice actor Anne Yatco. How are you today?
Hi, I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. Thank you. It's so great to talk to you.
You too.
Yeah. All right. So, what did your journey into voice acting look like? Was this something that you always wanted to do, or did you kind of fall into it?
Okay, so my journey is long and convoluted. So let's say it started with I saw The Little Mermaid when I was like 6, and I like fell in love with cartoons. I really wanted to like be Ariel, but you can't actually be a mermaid. So I settled for I'll be the voice of a Disney princess. And I loved all those Disney movies from like that golden age. And, I kind of like held on to that, for a really long time. But in the middle of it, like I was growing up, my parents wanted me to like get good grades in school. I was real active in school. I was gonna be a doctor at one point, but the whole time, like I was performing. I took
Mhm.
singing lessons and piano lessons, and I was in drama club in high school, and then on speech team. So like I always loved performing. And
Yeah.
so even when I went off to college to be a biomedical engineer and like go to med school, I was still acting. I was still going to the theater like every day, taking classes, being on stage, and I loved acting so much. And it wasn't until my senior year when I decided I should just study acting for real. And so I decided to move to LA and I moved out here for grad school for
Mhm.
acting. So I have an MFA in acting, and it was there that I kind of like rediscovered my love for voice actors. Kind of like got into it a little bit, and then after graduating from Cal Arts, I started taking some voiceover classes, cut a demo. It just like kind of was like slowly working my way through it, and eventually I was just like booking one or two things here and there. But I had a day job the whole time, and it took me like probably 8 years or something to kind of get to the place where I had an agent and was auditioning regularly. And then shortly after that, Jujutsu Kaisen fell in my lap.
Awesome. I love stories like that. How, our like hobbies kind of turn into what we end up doing as a career,
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's kind of the same here, like I loved journalism and writing, but I'm like, I can't make a career out of that. And then here we are today talking about your career in Jujutsu Kaisen. And
Yeah.
yeah, and speaking of Jujutsu Kaisen, Shibuya is upon us.
Ugh, I'm not ready.
No, I feel like even if you are not a manga reader, which you and I are, like we
Yeah.
kind of know what's coming, even
Yeah.
those who are anime only know something's coming.
Yeah. They've been teasing this from the very beginning of the show,
Yeah.
right? Ugh.
Yeah. So how are you feeling about it finally being animated and what that means for Nobara?
I have so many conflicting feelings. I'm very excited about the Shibuya arc because it is so jam packed. There's so much happening in there, and you're gonna get to see so many people, so many characters shine. It just breaks open like what this show is about. It feels like it changes the game, like for better or for worse, for
Mhm.
certain characters. But I'm excited to. I mean, it's been a minute since we've seen our girl, right?
Yeah.
She's been off screen. They've been off in the past doing whatever,
Mhm.
and it's time for us to get back to the present and these crazy teenagers. So I'm excited to get back into it.
Yeah, that's exciting. And yes, we're definitely going to see some very intense moments
Yes.
coming to life.
Hmm.
And as someone who is a fan of the manga, and you voice such an important character, what are you looking forward to seeing in Shibuya, specifically for Nobara and as a fan?
Okay, so with Nobara, what I'm excited about for her is that we get a little bit more of a closer look at her and
Hmm.
like more about like where she comes from and who she is like at her core,
Hmm.
because we saw a little bit of that in her introductory episode, and then after that it was just kind of like her in the present, her just like chugging along being awesome.
Yeah.
But in Shibuya we're gonna have a moment to like kind of come back and like peel back the layers of who she is and where she's come from, and I'm excited to see that part of her because that's like a large that's where she's most vulnerable, you
Hmm.
know.
Hmm.
um and to see like what makes her her.
Right. Yeah, because she's such a deep character. And that's one of the really cool things about Jujutsu Kaisen with the female characters is there's so much to them,
Yeah.
which is fantastic. Yeah, it's really great. And so that kind of rolls into the fact that Nobara is only one of 2 female students of Gojo at Jujutsu Tech. What sets her, apart from the boys?
Because she walks in with all this confidence. She's so sure of who she is from go. You know what I mean? And I think part of, and that's also a thing that resonates with her in terms of Maki. Like, she looks at Maki and she sees another woman who is very sure of herself and knows exactly what she wants out of the Jujutsu world.
Yeah.
And she's like, that's my girl. She's hitching her wagon to that star.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I love that. And we know that she can keep up with the boys no problem.
Exactly.
Like she has no problem keeping up with them. And she starts out, thinking that they're just a couple of buffoons. And I feel like she still thinks that. Like, I don't
still thinks that. But also, secretly, she is one of the buffoons. So
I like they all kind of share one brain cell once in a while.
Exactly.
Like the 3 of them. Which is what makes their relationship like so special, is that they are so different, but they like ultimately come together and share like the same like love for helping people.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. I think it's really special how their relationship evolves over that first season, because by the end of it, like, they are so close. Like, they are such a solid unit, and it's gonna get crazy for them in this next season.
I know. I was just gonna ask, like, do you think in this next arc we'll get to see a whole lot of them together?
It's been a minute since I've read that, so I'm gonna say probably not as much. I think if my guess is correct, what we're going to see at the beginning of this next episode probably is the last like filler chapter.
Right.
The last slice of life chapter in the entire manga.
Yes, exactly. And the rest is just heartache after heartache after intense moment. But we're getting it animated,
getting animated. I know, I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, it's gonna be really, really cool. And on top of Shibuya coming to be here in the next couple of weeks, you are a skin in Fortnite.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Nobara, Gojo, Yuji, and Megumi are all Fortnite skins.
Yeah, which is so cool. I don't play Fortnite.
No.
But I was like, awesome.
Yeah. I was just gonna ask how you feel about that.
I think it's really cool. I think that, I mean, at the very least, that brings Jujutsu Kaisen to an even bigger audience. And so, yeah, like, get more people hyped for season 2 for Shibuya.
Yeah, absolutely. And the meme videos that are coming out of it are just. Have you seen some of those videos with them? Like,
I've seen some of the videos of them dancing. Yes, it's very funny.
Yes, yeah. It's like the game is not about dancing, but I feel like the more memes we see, like, yeah, it is. Yeah, exactly. Yes. It's fantastic. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And speaking of video games, you are a pretty major character in Genshin Impact.
Yeah.
Is there a bit of a difference between recording voice lines for video games versus dubbing anime?
Yeah, so with video games, most of the time you're not recording to picture like you are for anime. And in some video games, and in Genshin too, like, there are maybe like small cutscenes where you will record to picture, and it's usually a game that is like localized, like Genshin is. So, there's only a couple of cutscenes that I've had to actually record to picture to like dub like the timing correctly. But for the most part with video games, you're usually like pretty free as far as like your timing, your choices, within the confines of who your character is and what the director wants, stuff like that. But for the most part, there's a lot more freedom of choice in there. That's not to say that like anime is worse or anything. It's just it's a different beast, and it's such a fun. What I love about anime is the challenge. The challenge to like get all the acting beats inside this tiny little box.
Right. Yeah. Because you don't necessarily have to worry about the mouth flaps either, right? Like on video games, because it kind of depends on how the player is playing along the story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Were you a fan of Genshin Impact before you were cast as Raiden?
I mean, a little bit. I actually had played it for like a few weeks, roughly around when it first came out. But
Mm-hmm.
then I like put it away because like I didn't want to get addicted to a gacha game.
That's fair.
I wanted to protect my wallet, and so I was like, I'm gonna go focus on work. Uh, and then after I booked Genshin Impact, I was like, well, I should just pick it up and see how the game's been going. And then I haven't put it down since.
I love that so much. And so how did it feel to be cast in a franchise that you were already like a fan of and familiar with?
It was really cool. I was like they told me I was cast in Genshin Impact, and I was like, "That's really fun. Who is this character?" And they're like, "It's Raiden Shogun," and I was like, "Who's Raiden Shogun?" Uh, I don't know who that is. So I like
Yeah.
started Googling it just on the off chance that maybe like someone had talked about the character at one point in the game, and wow, had they ever? Boy, and how.
Yes.
It was when and so I figured out like, oh, she's kind of an important character for the lore of this game, and like
Mm-hmm.
she's a literal god, and that's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's wild. The first time I got to play as her, I was like, wow, that's her. She's doing the things that I said.
Yeah, that's really exciting. That's so cool. How is getting prepared to voice Raiden different than like preparing to voice Nobara?
Oh, yeah. Well, okay, well, to voice Raiden Shogun, you have to like put yourself in the mindset you're this like ancient woman who is also just a hot woman. I don't know, like she is, your anime hot lady. But the thing about Raiden Shogun is that she I play her as having this like sense of regality,
Hmm.
because she's a god. So I was like, okay, that makes her kind of like a queen.
Hmm.
She's a queen,
Yeah.
just queen stuff, and kind of having that sort of an air for her. But she does share some qualities with Nobara, right? Like they're both women who are strong and they know who they are. They're very commanding and they're very badass. They're just
Hmm.
two different flavors of it.
Yes. Yes. Agreed. Agreed. Yeah. Do you think that Nobara would get along with any of the other characters that you voice?
Oh, who would Nobara get along with the most? That's a really good question. I actually think she would get along really well with Bambietta from Bleach.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they feel like they have similar energy.
Yeah. Yeah. What would an interaction look like between the two of them, do you think?
I think it would just be the two of them bossing everybody else in the world around.
Yes, go
And then going
off.
shopping.
Yes, as they fully deserve, 100%.
Absolutely.
Yes, I love that answer so much. That's so fun. Now, as a voice actor, do you have other voice actors that you kind of look up to for inspiration?
Oh, so many. So many. I mean, yeah, I mean, I honestly, like, and this is like this is not a cop out answer, I promise you, but I do look up to all of my colleagues. Like,
Yeah.
all of my colleagues, they put out such amazing work. Like, when I was cast in Jujutsu Kaisen, I looked at the cast list and, like, you know, the people that I didn't know as well versus the people that I did know, I was like, I get to act in an anime with these amazing people, and then I did my homework and I researched everyone's body of work and I was like, this is so cool.
Awesome.
This is so cool. But, when I was a kid, who was I? I mean, like, let's go back to The Little Mermaid. Jodie Benson as Ariel is like, she's one of my heroes. And Lea Salonga is another one of my heroes because she was the singing voice for both Jasmine and Mulan.
Hmm.
And she's Filipino, so my
Yes.
pride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So wonderful. Do you currently have any anime on your to watch list right now?
On my to watch list, what am I watching? Well, I mean, I'm keeping up with Jujutsu Kaisen and Bleach because I'm
Right.
actively working on both of those series right now.
Right.
What am I watching? I don't even know what I'm watching anymore. You know what? I just actually watched like the first episode of for the first time was Haikyuu.
Yeah.
So many friends who are like real into Haikyuu, and I was like, I just hadn't yet picked it up, and I just like watched the first episode on a lark, and I was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, these are good boys. I like this.
They are good boys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sports anime is so fun. It's like a little bit of a comfort, like a comfort watch.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was like, this is something you can put on the background really easily, and it's going to be super,
Yes. Yeah.
super comforting.
Yes, it'll be nice to have that on standby when you're watching through Jujutsu Kaisen season 2.
Yeah, when I need a pick me up, yeah, for sure.
yeah. That's I have my few comfort. I've got like Skate the Infinity on standby.
Yes.
I'll watch you after I've cried for 20 minutes over what just happened here.
Exactly. I'll just put on an episode of, I don't know, what's something super fluffy, like Spy Family to like pick me up, you know?
Yes, exactly. Put a little Yuri on Ice on, like happy. They're all happy, and then you could just pretend like everything's fine.
Exactly.
Yes, I love it. It's called living in delusion, and it's okay. It's okay. What was that TikTok where he's like, living in Delulu is the Solulu? Like that's kind of like that's kind of where we are right now with the next seasons of these shows. So
most definitely. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. You put the manga down. You're like, it's okay. It's okay.
We're gonna be okay.
It's fine. It's fine. But that's like another like great part of these, series is they suck you in so much to the point where you have these feelings of like they're real to you.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, these series, they're so good because they can affect you so much, like, that's a sign that it's, like, really good storytelling.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the voice actors, you guys voice the trauma, and then we blame you for our sadness when really we should be blaming the writers, but...
Well, I mean, it's a team effort, so...
It is. Yes, it's true. Yes, all of us, messaging Keiji after he voices several different parts of Gojo.
Ooh-wee. Yeah.
Yeah, no spoilers for season 2 if you guys don't know what's coming, but there's going to be some heavy stuff.
There's some heavy stuff.
It's already heavy.
It's already been heavy. Yeah, this whole, like, these first 5 episodes, like, that hits you. That hits you hard.
Yeah.
And like, and I knew I was watching and I was like, I'm tearing up, but I know exactly where this is going.
Yes. And that's one of those things too, where it's like, I knew exactly what was coming. I like read it on purpose to prepare myself.
Yeah.
And I mostly caught up, but then again, you see it animated and it's completely different than when you read it too, with the music and the animation and the extra flavor Mappa's adding in. Like it just, it hurts so good.
It really does.
Yes. Really does. Yes. All right. So before we wrap this up, we are going to play a fun little game.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you 3 titles, and you are going to have to tell me if it's an isekai anime or if it's a 2000s emo song.
Oh no. Oh. I know.
All right. So the first one might be a little on the easy side, but we'll see.
Okay.
The title is My Daughter Left the Nest and Returned an S-Rank Adventurer.
Okay, I think that one's an isekai.
Yes. Ding, 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 ding. Yes.
S-Rank was definitely a flag there.
Yes, exactly. Yes. That's a video game thing, right? Like coming back, like top tier. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. All right. So the next one is The Undertaker's thirst for revenge is unquenchable. The final battle.
Oh. I'm going to say that's an emo song.
It is an emo song. Yes.
That's hard. I was like, that could have also been a light novel title.
Right? Like it sounds like something so epic. Yeah. And like someone could write an isekai about this 2000s emo song. Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. The final one is lying is the most fun a girl can have without taking her clothes off.
I think that's an emo song.
It's Panic at the Disco, like their first album.
I was like, I know this lyric. Where is that from?
Yes, it's so funny when you like read these emo song titles. You're like, what? It's like.
That's awesome. Well, I mean,
perfect.
I just want to believe now that all emo bands just love anime.
Yeah, exactly. They could all be isekais and vice versa. We should take the isekai titles and turn them into
emo songs. Oh, damn.
Yeah. Imagine like the one about the the reincarnated as a refrigerator, like that
Yeah.
one? Yeah, or a vending machine. That's what it is. It's a vending
Is it a
machine.
vending machine? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, that would make a very interesting song.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Yay.
Yay!
All right.
I win.
You win. Woohoo! All right. Well, that about wraps it up for us. Thank you so much, Anne, for taking the time to talk and play this fun little game.
Thank you for having me, Maddie.
Yeah, you're welcome. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah, sounds good.
Bye.
Take care.